It's Wilkins, Jordan, Irving, Moses Malone, and Larry Bird. A smaller lineup, if you will. Bird for three, short, air ball. But there's Moses. No foul. And Moses is elbowed down by Kareem. Let's see who they call it on. A loose ball foul, and Kareem's goggles wound up under his nose.
You just watched them battle for the boards. I mean, Moses stays with him, gets the ball, now comes back, and Kareem is trying to take away that power move back to the hoop, blocks the shot, and Moses now saying, hey, wait a minute, and he took one in the gut right on the number 4.
Foul was on Wilkins. 4-point lead for the West with 2:14 to play. Overtime.
That's the man I'd be going to down the stretch if I was the West.
And a timeout, 2:02 remaining.
This has to go out and stop Rolando Blackman. And watch what happens. Dr. J ends up with Kareem. And Kareem said, that's nothing as far as I've seen bigger guys than you. And a little cram shot. What a move.
And the reaction of the West bench to the stuff by Kareem. Remember when we started this game a few hours ago and everyone was having a lot of fun?
All right, a little happy, little celebration time in Seattle. A party's going on. And now it's getting down to crunch time.
We have seen one, and Rolando Blackman hit 2 free throws with pressure on his shoulders with no time remaining to send the game into overtime. And Kareem, after Olajuwon fouled out, has come in big here for the West. All sorts of heroes, and it's going to be very difficult to pick an MVP in this game.
2 minutes.
Under 2 minutes to go in overtime. The doctor hits, and it's 152-148 in favor of the West.
Boy, Dr. J has come into his own with that outside shot this past season.
22 points in this game. Moses on Kareem. There's the hook. Kicked out to Worthy. New clock.
No double teeing on Kareem. He'll take the shot. You double him, somebody will get an open one.
Minute and a half remaining in overtime. Chambers. Kareem and Worthy. James Worthy gets the basket, and he has 22.
And the East does not have enough rebounding people in there to help Moses Malone on the board.
Out of bounds, East ball. Robert Parrish.
McHale on the bench. Lambier on the bench. Moses has had to do all the rebounding.
Highest scoring game in All-Star history. Malone did everything but get the basket. And the West in control now as we wind down to a minute to go. 154-148.
Watch this pick and roll again.
Magic looking for Chambers, who didn't roll. Here's Magic. Out of bounds, West ball. He fouled out Hakeem Olajuwon.
Well,
But Kareem has come up and picked up the slack.
The only other big guy to help on that pick and roll play on the boards is Larry Bird. He's been switching out to take Magic Johnson, so Moses had to do all the rebounding by himself.
18 rebounds for Malone, the most since Dave Cowens cleared 20 back in the 1972 game. Under a half a minute and 4 seconds on the clock. Blackman didn't have enough on the drive, and now the East coming back. Dominique Wilkins will go to the line and shoot a pair, and a chance to bring the East to within 4.
Charge to James Worthy.
Great ending to a great All-Star weekend here in Seattle, an overtime game,
Penalty.
and the West within 21
2
seconds
shots with Dominique Wilkins.
of beating the East in the All-Star game as Wilkins misses the first free throw. The last time the West won was 2 years ago in Indianapolis. I got it. Kareem will inbound. Magic gets it to Kareem. 10 seconds. 5, And they foul in desperation with 5 seconds to go. And the man who sent it to overtime can wrap it up. Boy, they wanted this one, the West.
I'll tell you, I love to watch Magic play in an All-Star game. You know, he may never win an MVP award, Magic Johnson, but he creates all the great things that happen for his teammates in this game.
Final seconds. Pat Riley will have his second All-Star victory in overtime. Final score, the West 154, the East 149. What a game, Tommy.
I'll tell you, the excitement in this game coming down the stretch in that fourth quarter couldn't have been better. And I think both coaches did an excellent job of keeping each team within bounds of reaching each other while they were making all those substitutions.
Tom Chambers of the host Seattle Sonics scored 34 points. Moses Malone had 27 points and 18 rebounds. The West has won the All-Star game here in Seattle in dramatic fashion.
1988 NBA All-Star Game. As we pick up the action late in the first quarter, the West has taken a 24-20 lead over the East.
You know, Barkley is such a unique player. Here's a guy, he's under 6'5". He led this league last year in rebounding. He has such phenomenal quickness and strength. I've never seen a player with those ingredients.
Alvin Robertson with a quick move to the hoop. Rivers knocked it away.
You go back there, shoot.
Robertson made the team. A lot of people thought Dale Ellis should have made it, and he's the only member of the NBA top 10 scorers who are not here.
Help, Kevin.
Sky hook. Thank you very much. Wouldn't be the same without that.
There's a guy who was in bed for 2 days with a strep throat, comes out here, and again, you know, you hear the players mention pride. Well, he just epitomizes it.
They go into McHale, double team quickly. 7 on the shot clock. Ainge goes for 3. Ewing gets the rebound and draws the foul. So a look at Patrick Ewing of the New York Knicks, who's become a force as a shot blocker.
Now here's that inside strength. You see Charles pushing Akeem. Now there's Ewing going to the offensive glass, and if they continue to do that, that will create a problem for Pat Riley. He's going to have to get maybe Karl Malone back in the game.
What about the Knicks? Are they a team on the rise, you think, somewhere?
Absolutely. I think that now they have gained a lot of confidence playing in Madison Square Garden. Now they have to get some confidence through Rick Pitino that they can compete on the road.
Under 2 minutes remaining in the first period. Mark Aguirre with white shirts in his face misses. And there's Danny Ainge filling the lane behind the back to Ewing, and it's stripped away. I believe Robertson got a hand on it. And it was last touched by Jake O'Donnell, which means it's the East ball.
Come on, Jake, get out of the way.
I'm sure someone said that.
Now we see the East trying to go inside to Charles Barkley.
Alvin Robertson is called on the foul. They get Aguirre. There's Pat Riley. This is a sad weekend for Pat Riley. His brother Len passed away on Friday in Florida after a lengthy illness. Pat will miss the Lakers' next game. That's against Indiana on Tuesday. Len Riley was survived by his wife Katie and his daughter Kelly, and of course we send our condolences as well. We'll be seeing Pat Riley next Sunday, huh?
Not a bad game. You know, two teams I think that have played against each other once in a while, the Celtics and Lakers.
Aguirre missed the 3. Ewing pick it up.
That's what Rick Pitino would have said to him. Pick it up and give it to the guard.
There's Larry Bird, who did not score when he was in there early. Drexler with a screen from Kareem, and Patrick Ewing fought through the screen and fouled Clyde Drexler. So Bird on the bench, and so is Irvin Johnson.
You know, Magic has his own All-Star game in the summer. and he's run it for 2 years now, and he gets the finest players in the league to go out there and play in L.A. And he's raised nearly $1 million for the United Negro College Fund.
It's going to become a staple, and it's really the best off-season All-Star game around.
And everybody shows up for Magic.
Winding down to a minute to go in the first. Rivers. Doc Rivers with his second basket. Jordan leads the East with 8, and Karl Malone and Elijah Wan have 8. The West by 1, and Ewing. Finger roll doesn't go, and that would have given the East the first lead they've enjoyed. McDaniel couldn't handle it.
Well, just a little too cute. Both teams handling the basketball.
Robertson.
And when you're in an All-Star game, you're not familiar with each other. You don't know how each other's going to react in the open court situations. That's why you should keep it simple with your passing.
And he's on the line. 12 turnovers, and a lot of that is to expect it because they're playing the up-tempo game both sides.
Up-tempo, and they're not as familiar with each other. You know, just playing once a year maybe in an All-Star game, it takes years to really develop that chemistry.
Danny Ainge. Rivers top of the key, or top of nearly the three-point line. And they're going to jump it with Xavier and Ainge. I think the defense of this game has really been the story so far on both sides. They're doubling and they're all over the shooters.
Well, there's a great deal of pride with it, you know, because you have players out here that are considered offensive players. They want to prove that they can play all facets of the game. We see the West team, anytime the ball goes inside, we see Charles Barkley trying to get cute and get in there for the jump ball. But we see that the West doubles down anytime that ball goes inside, trying to force the perimeter shot.
And it's a violation by the East team, and so the West will take over to bring up to date. The West has Drexler and Alvin Robertson at guard, Aguirre, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Xavier McDaniel up front. 2 seconds remain in this first period, and a foul. Both teams in the penalty, so a bad foul pair will give chance to West to get 2 more. Clyde Drexler is on the line, and you know, he plays for a team that always is playing catch-up against the Lakers in that Pacific Division.
And a team this year that has overcome so many injuries, starting out with Bowie being out for the year. Vandeweghe, he's being out, and Steve Johnson sitting on the bench, who was the All-Star center, voted to the All-Star team. He's out with the thumb, which he just had operated on. What's happened is they have just been able to overcome this adversity by playing better team defense.
Charles Barkley misses at the buzzer. Well, here we are in Chicago, the East, the favorite team, but the West had a lead as much as 8. They lead at 32-27 after 1 of the 38th annual All-Star Game. Dominique Wilkins also there. The East has Larry Bird return, so it's Bird and Wilkins and Ewing up front with Jordan and Rivers at guard for the East. Same 5 in there for the West, and traveling called against the East, and so we have Alvin Robertson and Clyde Drexler in guard, Xavier McDaniel, and Kareem and Aguirre up front.
You know, I look at Kareem and I realize I played with him in an All-Star game. I coached an All-Star game with him, and now I'm announcing when he's playing there.
Clyde Drexler hits the shot. He's a phenomenon. Wilkins guarded by Xavier McDaniel. They're looking to isolate him for the moment. And Wilkins throws up a wild shot, 2-on-1. Aguirre finds the X-Man. Good hustle in there by Ewing, but it's still the West ball, and a couple of Lakers, Worthy and Magic, cheering on from the bench.
Now, one of the problems you have coming into an All-Star game as an offensive player, and you're asked, okay, to blend in, is the offense from your team that you play on during the regular season is all geared around you, and all of a sudden it's around, 5 people.
Drexler and Jordan has it knocked away for the moment. Banging bodies at midcourt. Doc Rivers is hit as he goes in and will go to the line. For an All-Star game, we've had a lot of guys hit the deck so far. Here's Brad Daugherty, who's one of those 7 players in the All-Star game for the first time, replacing Patrick Ewing. These are the players making their All-Star debuts. James Donaldson, who is a replacement player for Steve Johnson, also will check in. And on the line is Doc Rivers. So a look at Brad Daugherty of the Cleveland Cavaliers. He is the youngest player. Daugherty is at age 22. There's Worthy and Donaldson for the West. Brad Daugherty at 22 is the youngest player. He was 4 years old when Kareem played in his first All-Star.
Oh, that hurts. If I was Kareem, I'd say that's really a low blow.
Below the belt, yeah. Maybe so. 6-point lead for the West. McDaniel. Rebound Daugherty. Rivers. Bird hasn't scored yet. Gets the pass back from Jordan. Way short. Alvin Robertson tries to thread the needle, but Bird is there. 3-on-1 East. Wilkins. Good passing by Doc Rivers. He has been effective off the bench for the East.
Well, right there, he passed to a teammate, someone he knows very well, and what they can do in that situation.
East on the run again, trailing by 4. Michael Jordan. And here's McDaniel, 4-on-2 for the West. And a backcourt violation. Turns it over.
Well, here's that fast break. You know, who do you go defend against if you're Donaldson, Jordan or Wilkins? He made the wrong decision.
Magic Johnson returns to the game, and Maurice Cheeks makes his first appearance. Cheeks, the veteran of the 76ers. Off the screen, Magic, Jordan, and he's fouled. And Clyde Drexler committing the foul.
Second team foul.
Magic back to do his stuff. He scored 2 points, but dished off 5 in his earlier stint. McDaniel. And a North Carolinian is Brad Daugherty, Cleveland Cavaliers. They said he was too soft when he was actually the #1 pick in a trade, wasn't it?
Right, and Philadelphia traded their #1 pick, who turned out to be Brad Daugherty, for Roy Hinson, who now has been traded from Philly to the New Jersey Nets. And to say he was soft coming out of college, you know, was not... it wasn't very good scouting, I think, on a lot of people to analyze Brad Daugherty in that fashion, because when you look at the NBA right now, you think of Olajuwon, Ewing, and Brad Daugherty as the 3 centers in the league.
That was Moses Malone with the ice. Michael Jordan has a game high of 10 points after those free throws, and the West lead is 34-32. Cheeks is guarding Drexler. Drexler giving up a lot of inches there. McDaniel misses, and tearing the ball away is Dominique. Doesn't have control. And James Worthy, who's bothered with tendonitis on the knee. McDaniel inside. Daugherty the rebound after nearly blocking it from behind. Bird still looking for his first points. And the foul is called against the West.
Now you'll see Dominique Wilkins just coming out of nowhere and jumping right over James Donaldson to get this defensive rebound. That's just great athletic ability.
Larry Bird's getting cold. He was hot yesterday, though, for the 12,500, wasn't he?
That's what he was after.
Magic. And there's McDaniel. Tough defense inside. It's not easy when you get the ball inside. Not automatic. No look pass. Daugherty. Goaltending called. And it was Michael Jordan who made the feed. A couple of former Tar Heels.
Yeah, Michael Jordan. We got James Worthy, who played with Michael Jordan down there at Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and Brad Daugherty, as you mentioned.
And another guy who's sitting next to me.
Don't put me in their class.
And a loose ball foul.
Loose ball foul.
Now Worthy coming. Daugherty did not see James Worthy coming out of off the blind side. If he did, he probably would have tried to dunk it.
Carl Malone back in the ball game for the West All-Stars.
It's been very surprising how low the scoring is so far in this ball game. Most cases, it's a lot higher.
Wilkins inside from Cheeks, and I think it's because of the defense, not so much because of teams missing shots, because they're trying a lot of shots, a lot of attempted.
A lot of good defense, and in a lot of cases, pretty poor ball handling.
Out of bounds. The East on that basket by Wilkins took the lead for the first time in this game. The West had been in charge. And there is Fat Lever replacing Drexler for the West. Worthy trying to post up Wilkins, but Wilkins pushed him away from the hoop. Cheeks. Doherty. Jordan. First it was Jordan to Doherty, and now it goes the other way. And the East now up by 4. And Jakes caught a foul inside against the Eastern All-Star.
Let me tell you, these officials are having a tough time keeping up with the tempo of this game. Now look at the passing. Well, Brad Doherty right there shows you why he's the #1 center passing-wise in the NBA.
We haven't given you personal fouls. When they start to get into foul trouble, we'll let you know, but that's not the key numbers to give you here. Jordan staying with Magic Johnson. Worthy. It counts, and the foul. A familiar move by James Worthy.
And we see right there what James was doing is he was taking his time reading if there was going to be a double team. Was Jordan going to come down and double team? He didn't, so he took it strong to the middle.
Jordan's fouled his second, and the only member of the East team, along with Rivers, to have 2 fouls. Can't convert to 3-pointer. Jordan setting a screen for Larry Bird. Against Lever. Wow.
He's not being a very gracious host to this basketball club. No.
Isolating Worthy against Wilkins. And Doherty came around to help. Bird can't save it.
Did you see Worthy trying to shoot the ball, lying flat on his back? Now here's that penetration and the movement of Michael Jordan. I don't know what you do to stop him.
Lever buries one. That was a legitimate 360 by Michael Jordan on that replay. The East trailing most of this game until the last few minutes, have a 2-point lead. Just under 7 minutes remaining in the half. Timeout. Everyone has played in this game. Fratello and Riley will find out which combinations will work as we go on. Wilkins hits the first free throw. He has 9 points. Jordan has 14. Those are the 2 main scorers for the East. More balance on the West, where Malone and Olajuwon have 8, and Fat Lever and Drexler have 6.
Now we see that front line that was so effective for the West with Olajuwon and Karl Malone.
Pick and roll inside. They got it inside to Akeem Olajuwon, who was a force early in the ball game, and he'll go to the line.
Well, on that play, what Worthy did is he just curled around the screen set by Olajuwon and realized that the way the defense played it, that Olajuwon was wide open and found him for the possible dump, but he did get fouled.
Clyde Drexler. So, the thing about the Lakers is that they've got, with all the great stars, they have Michael Thompson coming off the bench. Once upon a time, he was the nucleus of our team in Portland.
That just tells you how strong the Lakers are.
Doherty inside, working against Malone. Knocked away by Akeem, and Wilkins winds up beyond the Photogs. Isaiah Thomas coming back in the ball game for the East. Cheeks goes out, and Moses Malone will be checking in. Halftime, we'll have a look at yesterday's exciting activities. The 3-point shootout and the slam dunk contest. Magic's pass to Malone. Thrown away. And Moses Malone back in the ball game. Interestingly, Billy, Moses Malone and Larry Bird are scoreless so far in this game.
Well, both players had the ability, though, to help their ball club in other ways. Bird by passing the ball and Moses on the boards.
Dominique Wilkins got inside, a foul against the West. And it's Akeem Olajuwon with his second personal foul. Fratello and Larry Bird, and Fratello's main man on the line, and Dominique Wilkins, and of course he is really the main scoring force of the Hawks.
Well, he is, and what he's been able to develop, I think, more so this year than any year, is that leadership quality. You know, he has the ability to say, hey, let's go, guys, let's get down to work, and he's the one doing it defensively or on the boards, not just scoring.
Lever, he's been maybe the most effective outside shooter in the ball game. He's got 8. The East leads by 2, 44-42. 5:40 remaining. Michael Jordan goes the rims here, doesn't he?
Goes the rims, and that's a tough matchup for Lever trying to contest Michael Jordan in the low post.
And a steal by Jordan. He spun it away from the mailman. Jordan has 18 points. Malone misses, and the other Malone, Moses. Bird. And Larry Bird scores his first point of the game.
I think the West needs a little timeout to reorganize. They're just not in sync.
20-second timeout. 20-second timeout called by Riley.
Now this is something Doug Collins coaches the Chicago Bulls players to do, to try and come from the rear to block the shots of the bigger players.
He leads the NBA in steals. Is there anything he can't do? Central Division. They have been the strong division, and you can see games over 500 really indicates it all. And right now, all 6 teams would be going to the playoffs in that division.
And it's a topsy-turvy division. You know, you look at Atlanta, Detroit, you know, who's going to win that division? You know, a couple weeks ago, Cleveland was in last place. Now, you know, all these teams are really fighting for position as we go into the second half of the season.
And the Chicago Bulls, let's not forget them. They got off to that great start, then they cooled off, and now they're tied with the Pistons, 3 games behind Atlanta.
And they released, you know, Artis Gilmore, and now are playing a much smaller team.
Wilkins. Wow. And it was Jordan who shuffled the ball to Wilkins, and so the quickness of the East team is apparent right now. They've got a bunch of quick people in Jordan, Thomas, and Wilkins.
Now this is Larry Bird's 4th steal. Look at him coming from the weak side. You know what? He knew what Olajuwon likes to do in that situation and just anticipated. He's such a smart basketball player out there, especially defensively.
Michael Jordan goes to the bench with 18 points, the game-high scorer. McHale is in along with Danny Ainge. So there are 2 Celtics that make it 2, yeah, but Larry Bird went out of the ball game, so there are 2 Celtics. And Ainge and McHale. Nice save by Karl Malone. Lever. Ainge to Thomas. And he'll call the foul against Isaiah Thomas. Charles Barkley replaces Dominique Wilkins for the East Stars. Wilkins goes out with 13.
The All-Star Game is always a game of streaks. You know, as many times as you've done this game, Dick, you know, there's 15-point runs, then the other team will come back.
Olajuwon. And we've kind of had streaks, but no real big streaks. They've been mini streaks so far in this game. The East, though, with a 7-point lead. At one time, they were trailing by 8. Illegal defense called against the West.
Now watch Olajuwon coming from the weak side, getting to the offensive boards. And if you don't have a body on him when the shot goes up, you're in trouble.
Isaiah Thomas tries to loop it over the big man. And Moses Malone is there for his first basket of the game. And Larry Bird getting a breather. Bird has scored just 2. But as you said, he's done other things, and the East is forged in front.
But one thing in an All-Star game like this, both coaches would like to have Larry Bird handling the ball as much as possible and Magic Johnson on the West handling the ball as much as he can. Because they make the right decisions.
West with Alex English, Lever, 2 Nuggets, Magic Johnson, Karl Malone, and Hakeem Olajuwon. So the 5 who started the game for the West are in there now. Not so for the East. Alex English.
You know, you look at Alex English, he's too skinny, he can't run very well, doesn't jump, but he's been an all-star for, what, seven years now.
Thomas came back with a bucket. Magic scoop, doesn't happen. Danny Ainge draws the foul going in, and a chance to give the East an 11-point lead.
The foul on Hakeem Olajuwon is
There's the slew of Atlanta coaches.
But one of the things, Brendan Suhr on the right, what he's trying to do is keep track in the first half of the minutes that every player is playing to make sure that they're fair and that they allow these All-Stars the opportunity to showcase their talents.
Hakeem Olajuwon has picked up his 3rd personal foul, and that will bring in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So Olajuwon goes out having scored 12 points and the high score for the West. Danny Ainge, who went from a singles hitter with the Toronto Blue Jays to a 3-point home run king in the NBA.
He hit a 3-pointer in 23 consecutive games this year.
That's a record. Lever. Lever with 10. Isaiah against his friend Magic. Ainge. Good pass from Ainge to Moses Malone on a push inside.
That's just beautiful basketball and just unselfish basketball by the East.
And Danny Ainge, his first time in this great classic. Who wasn't tall enough.
Yeah, Magic has been out of sync, you know, in this second period in his passing.
Less than 2.5 remaining in the first half. Ainge. There's Barkley, and English is on Barkley. He wants to be isolated against the thinner English. There it is. Barkley's relentlessness. English goes around Barkley. And Kareem.
2 minutes left in the half.
Several chances for the West, and they still have the ball with 2 minutes remaining in the first half. The West Stars dominated early, had an 8-point lead, but the second period has been controlled by the East. They had a 10-point lead, and that's what they have now.
Well, what happened is the East got in a groove, and Mike Fratello found a group which we'll probably see more of in the second half that played very well together.
English goes in a foul called. And you heard Jake O'Donnell, even with the great stars, having to slap them on the wrist.
Yeah, and Charles Barkley had something to say, and Jake, you just can't allow players to get out of control. No one liked Charles. You know, he had a lot of things to say earlier in the year about his teammates, questioning them, were they dogs or not, and he felt they were at one point in the season. And you know, Charles, I don't think needs those things, but sometimes he should think before he speaks.
Kareem hits the shot. Barkley was fined $3,000.
And that'll hurt.
8-point lead East. McHale posting up against Kareem. He is the center on this team. Well, I guess Moses still is, but he'll post up like a center. Trying to cut it to 6. Magic all the way in. Against McHale behind him. Karl Malone now in double figures.
But without Karl Malone, they'd be in serious trouble, the West, and be down, well, maybe 12, 14 points because he's just pounded the offensive glass and got out and run so well in the fast-breaking game.
He's got 7 rebounds, this Karl Malone. Ainge using a McHale screen. Now with a 58-52 game, the West trying to make a last spurt with under a minute to go. Kareem absolutely into 4.
He looks like he wants to win that MVP trophy today.
Never won one. Isaiah Thomas off the mark. Magic was started out. West has won 2 of the last 3, but the East leads it overall. Ainge saves it to McHale, to Thomas.
Good decision by Isaiah. He was outnumbered with Lever and Jabbar back there defensively,
with 21 seconds remaining in the first half. First-time All-Star coach Mike Fratello, 40 years old. What a phenomenal athlete in any sport.
You know, the thing about him, he's always, every time it seems like we do a game, it's a new record he's establishing. You know, and the records like the scoring and the amount of games and the amount of years that he will participate in this sport, no one will ever surpass it. Magic Johnson had the greatest quote, I think, about him. He said, "Of all the people I know, I respect Jabbar more than anyone because of the pride this man has in whatever he does."
20 seconds remaining in the first half. The East with a 6-point lead, and the West playing for that last shot. And it's last touched by the East, and 10 seconds remain.
Look for Magic getting the basketball.
Kareem with a long sky hook with 6 seconds to go. Charles Barkley all the way. No basket. He turned it over with 1 second to go. He wasn't going to pass to anyone. Magic, dollar. Ooh, that's the end of the first half with the score. The East All-Star 60, the West 54.
Every Wednesday night.
We'll try to pick out the combination of 5 that we think these coaches will go to at the end.
I think we'll see that combination that they like sometime in the middle of the fourth period when they'll go to their strength trying to win this ball game.
All right, the same 5 who started the game for the East are there, and a loop to Wilkins. Isaiah Thomas to Dominique Wilkins starts it off, and the East scoring early. So the same people who started for both sides are on the floor now. Lever and Magic for the West. Lever is fouled. Elijah Wan, Karl Malone, and Alex English up front, and English will shoot.
Foul on Michael Jordan. That's his third.
Midwest Division, we talked a little bit about Denver. Dallas has lost 4 in a row, and Houston 2.5 behind. That's a terrific race. Next to the Central, that's the best race.
And I can see this Houston Rocketball Club getting better and better as the season goes on. With the acquisition, as we talked about, with Joe B. Carroll joining this ball club, and Floyd, you know, with a little time, they'll develop that chemistry, and I think that they will give the Lakers a run for their money.
Michael Jordan, by the way, has picked up his 3rd personal foul. Lever made 1 out of English made 2. Isaiah Thomas coming back, and it's 64-55. Lever in the lane gets the roll, so Lafayette Lever now with 13 points and the high scorer for the West.
Well, right away, the last 2 plays for the West, we see English hitting Lever, 2 teammates that know how each other's going to react when the pass is made.
Pat Riley said, look, if you guys are in trouble, just look for those people because they don't have any plays anyway when they play for the Nuggets.
They run that passing game.
Tough to play, too, those teams. Karl Malone gets the basket and the foul. And Karl Malone is going to be a force if the West is going to win this game. He'll have to be in there.
Here's Larry Bird trying to overplay the passing lane and not allow Karl Malone to get that good position. But the key was that excellent pass by Lever to the open hand.
Personal fouls on the West. Elijah Wan has 3, the only player with 3. Malone missed the free toss. Moses Malone knocked away, but it's still East ball. Larry Bird with 2 points in the ball game. And 1 assist. It's been a quiet first half for him. Jordan. 20 points for Jordan. They'll call it on Wilkins.
Dominique Wilkins. In second, 13 foul.
Tough defense by Isaiah Thomas, now telling Lever, go in and shoot. Jordan doubles on Akeem. Off balance, Bird was in his way. Good defense by Bird. 5-on-2 break. And Bird tried to save it, but he did it in the hands of English. Jordan with another steal, and it's 4-on-0.
his seasonal average.
Or maybe season total. I don't know. 9-point lead for the Eastern Stars.
We see the adjustment defensively that the East has made. They're looking to come back in and double team anytime a team is ready to put the ball on the floor.
Is this game going the way you thought with the isolation for the East and the West with the physical matchups?
It has in that regard, but I thought that the players would have a better offensive day.
Wilkins. Moses. And it was Magic Johnson who got a hand on the ball. Coming the other way. And the basket counts and a foul. Magic Johnson only his 4th point of the ball game. And a chance, though, if he makes the free throw, to cut the East lead to 6.
Did you notice, well, here we'll see Jordan steal, anticipating Karl Malone's pass. Now, where the mistake was is Karl Malone shouldn't have been putting the ball on the floor. He should have gotten it to Magic earlier. But that last play, Magic has the court awareness to even look back over his shoulder before he shoots the basketball.
Lead is 6. Lever defending Jordan. What can you do? 22 for Michael Jordan now.
The frustrating thing is Lever played excellent defense.
Elijah Wan misses. Bird the rebound. 3-on-1 now. Wilkins. Moses, the best offensive rebounder, plays patty cake and gets the basket.
Well, right now the West has got to regroup.
That's one way to start.
It sure is, because what's happening is the East has been able to get the ball off the defensive boards and outnumber in transition the West team.
That was Karl Malone, who has 14 points. Off the screen, Larry Bird, and they'll call it on Karl. Great to see new players in the NBA make the All-Star team. People like Malone, Karl Malone, Xavier McDaniel. And Larry Bird is one of 5 players who have never missed an All-Star game in his career. 9 times, 9 stars.
And those 7 players before the game, as all the other players do, what they do is they pass around programs and they collect the autographs. And they take that home, and it's something they'll always cherish.
Guess they're kids, huh?
That's exactly. Kids making a few bucks playing a man's game here.
East has up the lead to 10, matching their biggest lead of the ball game. With 8.5 to play in the 3rd, Lafayette Lever, he's been the best outside shooter. It's been Lever, Elijah Wan, and Karl Malone for just about all the scoring for the West Stars today. Bird goes for 3. Malone keeps it alive. Michael Jordan. And Wilkins on the other end. 19 for Dominique. Magic. Where did it go? Crowd loves the dexterity here. Fake passes, no-look passes. Double passes, you name it.
They're having fun out here. And they know the coach isn't going to yell at them for doing it.
3 seconds on the shot clock. And they don't get it off in time, a 24-second violation. And there is James Jordan and Mrs. Jordan. Michael's parents are here. Bill Russell yesterday said to James Jordan, your son is a better man than he is a basketball player, and that made James Jordan feel awfully warm inside.
Well, you know, that had to, and it's a lot of credit to them as parents that they forced this young man to realize there is life besides basketball.
You know what they think of his basketball skills, and Bill Russell wanted to pay that comment about Michael Jordan, the man, as Brad Daugherty comes back in. And there is Bill Russell, who will be back next year as coach of Sacramento.
Looks a little older, though, since he's got into coaching.
Well, you know what'll do that? 14 and 29.
Every time.
Good pass, Karl Malone. Gets it into Alex English. I'm impressed with Karl Malone.
As being a rookie playing in this ball game,
Michael Jordan.
It is truly exceptional because you're nervous, you just want to fit in and just enjoy the experience.
Magic Johnson is enjoying this basket and a foul. Great pass pressing by the West, trying to come back in this ball game with 6:43 to go in the third. And it's an 8-point game. Beneficiary, Alex English.
ESPN Classic caps off Black History Month with 3 days of excitement from America's oldest black college conference, the Ford CIAA Tournament live. Who will bring down the house? What team will win it all? It's a must-see event. 60 years of high-flying hoops continues as this year's top teams look to elevate the tradition. The 2005 Ford CIAA Basketball Tournament live. Coverage starts 1 Eastern, March 3rd on ESPN Classic. On Wheel Classics Extra, our bottom line gives you info, facts, and just about anything you ever wanted to know about the movie and its stars. With Extra, you'll never look at sports movies the same way again. Wheel Classics Extra, Sunday nights on ESPN Classic.
ESPN searches for the next NBA analyst. Former NBA players Wilkins, Reed, Bullard, Brown, and Dawkins take their shot at the analyst job. The new season of Dream Job, live Sunday, February 27th at 10 on ESPN.
Celebrate the New England Patriots' incredible third Super Bowl title.
Great catch by Deion Grant.
You can be part of the thrilling season with Sports Illustrated and the must-have NFL Films DVD, The New England Patriots Super Bowl 39 Champions. Plus, this special Sports Illustrated hardcover commemorative book gives an inside look at the Patriots' unbelievable season. Both are free with your paid subscription to SI. Get 56 issues for only $1.59 an issue. Save 60% off the cover price. Use your credit card to get this great Patriots Championship polo free. Designed exclusively for Sports Illustrated, it features the Patriots and Super Bowl 39 logos. Call now to get all 3 great Patriots collectibles free. Enjoy forever this incredible New England Patriots Super Bowl 39 package. It's the best yet and available only from Sports Illustrated. Call now.
To order, call 1-800-348-1500. That's 1-800-348-1500. Or go online at sipackage.com.
Touchdown!
What are you setting your sights on? And when you see it, will you be ready? Just pick up the phone, dial 1-800-645-ARMY, and you'll get this free DVD. You'll learn about the hundreds of opportunities the Army can offer you. Skills, education, healthcare. Call 1-800-645-ARMY, and you'll also get this free boonie hat. Whatever you're looking for, the Army can help you find it.
If you suffer from acid reflux disease, frequent heartburn, and I told you prescription Nexium heals acid-related damage in the esophagus better, you'd want proof. And now, your doctor has that proof. Recent medical studies prove Nexium heals that damage better than the other leading prescription medicine. To see the proof for yourself, call today. We'll also send you the facts about acid reflux disease, plus valuable tips for living with it. Even better, you'll receive a certificate good for a free trial of Nexium. So call to learn more about the healing purple pill and ask your doctor if Nexium is right for you. Because if left untreated, the damage could get worse. Other serious stomach conditions may still exist. The most common side effects of Nexium are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. Hey, with Nexium, you don't just feel better, you are better. And better is better.
Get the proof and a free trial offer for Nexium. Call 1-866-433-4100.
And the scene at Chicago Stadium. This is the second All-Star game. The first one here was in 1973. The final score in that game, Bill, was 104-84 in favor of the East. I don't think we will see a low-scoring game like that. In fact, that was the lowest point total combined since 1954 All-Star game. So that was an unusual situation.
Yes, we'll pass that probably by the end of the third period.
Johnson has the three-point situation, and let's check the lineups. Isaiah Thomas and Danny Ainge, the guards for the East. Wilkins, Bird, and Brad Daugherty up front for the Eastern Stars. Karl Malone still in there with Elijah Wan. Magic with the ball. Lieber and Xavier McDaniel is in. Hakeem stays in bounds. He's so strong.
You know, I just sit here in amazement of what Magic Johnson has the ability to see on a basketball court. He sees the 9 other players, it seems like, at all times. He plays at a different level.
Wilkins misses. Doherty with the offensive rebound. Slapped away, and Lever saves it. And you know, Magic always makes the right decision.
Don't you get the feeling that Magic and Larry Bird are watching this game in slow motion?
That's a good description. Xavier McDaniel, and it's now a 78-75 game with 5:45 remaining in the third period. So the West coming back. Magic sparking them. Wilkins, and they'll count the basket. Goaltending. Paul McKeskey. So there are players who admire their peers, and Paul McKeskey of the Bucks is one of them.
The problem is the lights have gone out on the scoreboard, so they're trying to get that all squared away.
Not with the numbers and the total, but that message area there.
As long as the light is over the basket so the players can see the hoop, that's all they care about.
Alvin Robertson and Doc Rivers getting set to come in for their respective teams. Akeem turned around and missed the pass from Magic Johnson. Those things will happen in a game like this. 5-point lead for the East. Thomas, the only Piston. Ainge to his teammate Larry Bird.
Well, you saw how the defense was so concerned with Ainge in that three-pointer, it allowed him to penetrate and then find Bird.
Bird has 6 points on only 2 for 9 shooting. McDaniel facing the hoop, double team. Good passing by the West, but Lever can't connect. Good pass from Bird. Wilkins. Thomas behind the back to Dominique. What a play by both of them, particularly Isaiah Thomas.
Isn't that beautiful?
Magic with the hook shot.
You know, it's almost like, well, you guys think that was good? Watch this.
They'll be talking about this this summer. Both of those guys.
Yeah, comparing notes.
4:20 to go in the third.
The East is a little out of sync with their set offense.
5 on the shot clock. Wilkins again with a basket. 2 big baskets by Dominique Wilkins. And again, the East is up by 9. Magic will go and shoot a pair.
And watch the ball movement here by the East. Isaiah finding Dominique going to the hoop. Makes it a lot of fun for everyone when they make that extra pass.
Isaiah Thomas and Larry Bird are on the bench. McHale, Rivers, and Barkley have come in the ball game for the East Stars. Mark Aguirre has checked in for the West. He just got married last night, representing the Dallas Mavericks.
You know, the other thing that's tough for these guys coming off the bench, they're used to starting. They're not used to sitting over there on the sidelines and now have to get themselves mentally prepared coming off the bench. So it's a new experience for a lot of these players.
Danny Ainge misses. And it's going to be West Hall, and, you know, also to get warm in a hurry after you've been cold sitting there.
The key is, though, you're not going to get warm. You have to have yourself mentally ready to come into the game, to get a feeling of the flow of the ball game, who you're going to be matched up against, what's going well for your team and what's not.
Robertson and Drexler with McDaniel, Kareem, and Aguirre. They isolate Aguirre, then triple team him, and it worked. Or did it? Rivers ahead to McHale, but he led him too much.
Well, Xavier looks like a rookie in an All-Star game. He's 0 for 8 now in this ball game.
Well, one of the guys who went to the bench with Isaiah and Bird was Dominique Wilkins, who has scored 12 points this period to keep the East in front.
Regular season.
Every Wednesday night, live games are on ESPN Classic. Warning, do not adjust your television. We're turning back the clock. Throwback graphics, announcers, maybe even retro fans.
Far out, man.
Wednesday, twin brothers Ronell and Donnell Taylor lead UAB against the Billikens of St. Louis. It's a Conference USA clash beamed live to your couch, old school style. Turn back the clock, live, UAB versus St. Louis, 8 p.m. Wednesday on ESPN Classic.
Free?
Free?
You're giving it away free.
Hi, I'm Rob Graham, the president of Vital Basics, and I want to give you a bottle of Focus Factor, one of our best-selling supplements, absolutely free. Why would we give away a free bottle of Focus Factor? Because we know that if you try it, you'll buy it. Focus Factor contains nutrients that work with your natural brain chemistry to support focus, concentration, and memory.
Focus Factor is now available at Walgreens and CVS Pharmacy, but if you call now, you can try it free.
Simply call the number on the bottom of your screen, and we'll send you a full-size bottle of Focus Factor, a $75 value, absolutely free. You simply provide $4.95 to help cover the cost of shipping.
They let you try it free? It must be good.
You know, I've been taking Focus Factor since we introduced it over 2.5 years ago, and I wouldn't work a day without it.
Buy it at Walgreens and CVS Pharmacy, or call now and try it free. Call 1-800-871-4550.
You know, I've heard a lot of motivational speeches in my life, but nothing quite like this. Make a career of humanity, and you will make a greater person of yourself, a greater nation of your country, and a finer world to live in. These are the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose accomplishments are an inspiration to us all.
One of the greatest entertainers in country music, Willie Nelson. For the first time ever, 20 songs spanning his entire career on one CD. Willie Nelson, Songs.
She's a good-hearted woman in love with a good
Featuring his classic duets, like Good-Hearted Woman with Waylon Jennings. Plus, unforgettable #1 hits like Blue Eyes, Crying in the Rain. Willie Nelson, Songs, 20 timeless gems spanning 4 decades, just $18.98. Call now and get this bumper sticker free. 20 incredible career-spanning hits, including Always on My Mind. Simply Willie, simply Songs. To order, call the number on the screen or log on to www.willienelsonsongs.com. Free bumper sticker with paid order. Call now.
Loose ball picked up by Danny Ainge, and he is pushed into the stanchion, and not lightly, I might add.
The one thing I'm sure Casey Jones, back in Boston watching this game, had to hold his breath watching Danny Ainge hit the floor. One thing you don't want to see happen in an All-Star game is someone getting hurt.
McGuire picked up his third foul. If the West is going to make any run, now's the time, because Wilkins and Jordan are on the bench, and they have more than half of the East point total. Ainge for three. Danny Ainge, Bill mentioned earlier, set the record with 23 in a row on a bad pass. Turns it over back to the East. And the East, with a 10-point lead, can establish their biggest lead of the game if they score here. 2:42 remaining in the third period. Doc Rivers traveled, didn't have control of it. Cheeks and Malone, former teammates. Teammates today. Doherty defending against Kareem. And a loose ball foul against Alvin Robertson. The West has 3 team fouls, the East in the penalty, and there's Magic, and the West will need Magic and Karl Malone in the fourth period to make another run here, I think.
They do, and this group out there is a very small group for the West. Tallest player besides Kareem is about 6'6", so they could get hurt inside.
And that's where the East biggest lead of the game right now by the East as we wind down to 2 minutes to go in the third. McGuire comes right back at you.
2 minutes left in the quarter.
Doherty gets two. I like this Cleveland Cavalier team coming up with Doherty at center and a lot of good young players.
Well, Mike Fratello does too, because the last day Cleveland beat the Boston Celtics to allow Mike Fratello to represent the East as the coach.
You ought to send them a bunch of flowers or something.
Well, he told Brad Doherty, you can play as long as you would like, and we'll run any play for you.
Minute and a half to go. And we've gone up and down a couple of times without a point, and it's going to be West Ball, commissioner of the NBA, and what a grand job he has done. David Stern. Players respect the work he's done. McGuire, air ball on a 3 attempt, and Drexler comes back.
You know, I watched Clyde Drexler. Here's a guy that last year, one area of his game that was questionable was shooting. He spent the summer with Kiki Vandeweghe in a gym working and perfecting his jump shot. That's why he's an all-star. Complacency is not a word in their vocabulary.
Danny Ainge has hit his second three-point shot of the ball game, and the East is up by 13. Under a minute to play. McGuire getting into the swing of things with his second basket. And Rivers is fouled. We saw David Stern a few moments ago, the commissioner, and as we take a look at this replay, we're going to look at inside rebounding here, but
you know, yeah, Clyde Drexler just sneaks in and gets that offensive rebound.
Larry Fleischer's done a terrific job. We covered the story of the labor negotiations, and whatever machinations are going on now, I'm just confident that the intelligence of both parties will somehow solve the impasse that they have.
No question. I think that both parties have the interest of the game. Number one is their number one concern, and there's never been a strike. And I think that they'll sit down and they'll resolve this, and we won't have any interruptions in professional basketball.
I got a lot of respect for the commissioner, the owners, the players, and their representatives.
Well, right now, the great thing is it's a great situation. The players are doing well, the owners, the league, everything is good right now in basketball, and you'd hate to see it interrupted. You know, there's Mike Fratello sitting over there. I think one thing they should do is they should rotate the coaches for the All-Star Game, because it's such a great thrill and honor to participate in this as a coach. You know, why not give everyone an opportunity? Let's not have it the Pat Riley show, every year of the West. And in most cases, it's been Casey Jones. Let the other guys get in here. Maybe the home team, like here we are in Chicago. Let Doug Collins be the host for the East, and then select someone from the West.
Not a bad idea. Or at least, if it isn't the team that's in first place, if their coach went the year before, maybe go to the second place team. But it's such a situation where other people have an opportunity, because Mike Fratello's having a ball.
Again, these are things, not only do the players think this is such a great deal, but the coaches do. To have the opportunity to sit there, instead of preparing against Larry Bird, you're trying to run plays for Larry Bird.
Drexler guarding Rivers. Brad Doherty hits with 13 seconds to go. 99-87, a 12-point lead. McGuire draws the foul inside. If you joined us late, the West had the lead in the first half. They were up by 8 points at one time, and it wasn't until late in the second period that the East took the lead for the first time. But they were sparked by Jordan and Wilkins. They went on a tear and have maintained the lead as much as 13. McGuire will try to knock it down now to 10.
Ball is in play. I got it, Jake.
McGuire has a new wife, a new attitude, self-examination during the offseason, and newfound respect, I think.
Yeah, and the Dallas Mavericks have been struggling the last week, 10 days of the season. But I saw John McLeod, he just said, hey, we're a little tired, a little drained, and there's something to be expected during the course of this long season.
5 seconds, and the West playing tough defense and traveling against Barkley with 2 seconds remaining in this period. Inbound to try to cut the lead to 8.
That's Kareem's spot, the three-pointer.
after this word from your local station.
Everything's possible with a Hover-Round. If you have mobility problems, there's really only one way to go where you want with ease and comfort. Hover-Round. Learn for yourself why a Hover-Round power chair is your best choice of all.
The Hover-Round allows me the freedom to live on my own and not depend on somebody.
Very good reason. What happened is after Jake O'Donnell called it interference, basket interference, then he conferred with the other official and realized that it was McDaniel, who's on the same team, that was involved with that interference.
Offensive interference, and so the basket is nullified, so Kareem's next bucket will give him the all-time All-Star. Clyde Drexler on the follow-up, and it's 99-91, and that's what you thought it was after 3, and that's what it is right now. Dick Stockton and Bill Cunningham, the final 12 minutes of this 38th All-Star game, barring OT. Brad Daugherty, defended by McGuire, has Gooden and Worthy in the ball game. Double team. Foul.
Very interesting looking at the East's front line. You have Brad Daugherty, Charles Barkley, and Moses Malone. You realize they very easily could be teammates today in Philadelphia.
Yes, and Harold Katz, of course, may be thinking the same thing right now, the owner of the Sixers.
I'm sure he'll call me about it, too.
They traded Moses Malone. They traded away the #1 pick that became Daugherty. And Barkley, of course, is on the 76ers. How true that would be. Doc Rivers with the free throws, and it's 101.
Now for the West, with this small lineup they have in there, they're going to have to do it with their quickness. They're going to have to be aggressive, create some turnovers, get out and run.
Turnover, Drexler lost the ball. Alvin Robertson in the backcourt defending. Wire, Worthy, and Donaldson are the 3 frontcourt men for the West. Daugherty with a sky hook of his own. He's got 10 points off the bench. Another good-looking first-year All-Star playing well today.
He and Karl Malone are just playing like they've been here for the last 7 years.
Alvin Robertson. Donaldson. The foul. James Donaldson is the only lefty in this game. A vanishing breed. I don't know. Larry Bird and Danny Ainge, right left-handed. And he's the only left-handed shooter in the ball game. Now, I know Bill Russell was a great left-handed shooter. Can you think of any others?
You amaze me, the homework you do for these games.
Wow. What about you, Bill? You were a lefty kid. You're a southpaw.
That's why I'm sitting with you.
Donaldson replaced Steve Johnson. It's unusual to have just one left-hander in a game like this. Here's Johnson. Early here in the final period, 103-93. Ainge around the screen. Akeem, the rebound, and a foul by Barkley.
And Charles Barkley just doesn't appear that he has his head in this ball game for whatever reason.
Daugherty defending against Olajuwon. A long shot and a foul by Brad.
Foul on Brad Daugherty.
Rolando Blackman last year, remember the look on his face when he hit those key free throws down the stretch to send the game into overtime. Larry Bird has had an unusual game for him, just 6 points. And Olajuwon is on the line. The only player on either side who has not scored in the game is Maurice Cheeks.
Well, Maurice Cheeks went to Mike Fratello and said, I'm not feeling well. I got a bad shoulder, and I'd just like to make an appearance, and that'd be more than enough for me. And that's why we won't see Maurice Cheeks any longer today.
9-point lead for the East. And they have the ball.
And again, the West has got to get themselves going defensively and get to the open court. We know what Magic can do there.
Brad Daugherty with a great spin move baseline. And the East is maintaining the lead without Jordan and Wilkins. Magic gets another opportunity, and he loses it. And Jordan's going to come back in the ball game. He's at the scorer's table. Ainge. That's his third three-point bomb in the ball game.
I think Larry Bird was more excited seeing Ainge hit that than Danny Ainge.
James Worthy. And the West is just having trouble shooting. And Jordan will come back in the ball game. He already has 24. The East has the lead when Billy and I come back to Chicago Stadium. Teen All-Star Game.
Don't you get something out of all these pieces being done, which are beautiful about the players, is that you have to sacrifice something to get to where they are today. You know, being in the gym till midnight and all the hard work that goes into this to become these great players.
14-point lead for the East Stars. Kick ball and a new clock. Worthy. Magic. Two Lakers in there. Magic off balance. Didn't get the foul or any of the iron. Doc Rivers fouled as he goes to the hoop. Really, at this point, we're getting down, of course, to the crunch of the game in the fourth period. And what everyone looks forward to, the Most Valuable Player Award. This is the group of the last 7. Isaiah Thomas won in 84 and 86, and 3 times a charm. This would be his year. But right now, Isaiah Thomas has scored only 8 points and would not be a candidate for it. We know the obvious right now.
Right, you know, and if you look at the East, who's winning this game right now by 14, you'd have to say it's either Michael Jordan or Dominique Wilkins. And if Larry Bird has anything to do with it, he says he'd like to see Michael Jordan win it.
That would be poetic justice on this kind of weekend. Drexler in the basket. Great play by Drexler, and they credit the basket to Olajuwon, who has 17 to lead the West Stars. As far as the West MVP, they come back, it could be anybody. Jordan has a shot blocked by Donaldson. Drexler, foul inside. At the conclusion of the game, Billy Cunningham and I will select the Miller Lite Player of the Game. And in conjunction with the award, Light Beer will present a check in the amount of $5,000 in the player's name to the Thurgood Marshall Black Education Fund. Brad Daugherty goes out having scored 12 and looking mighty good out there, replaced by Patrick Ewing.
You know, these two coaches, Pat Riley and Mike Fratello, would love to have the options they have as coaches for the All-Star Game. You know, they can go with a small lineup, a big lineup, quickness, strength. And right now we see both teams are going to a big lineup up front.
8:45 remaining, fourth period. Malone double team. It looks like Drexler, who takes the ball away from Jordan, cut off the baseline and made a good move.
Now, right now, Michael Jordan or any player out there in the court that thinks he has a chance for the MVP has got to be very cautious that he doesn't try to force some things.
Isn't that something? So Michael Jordan had the ball taken away and he missed the stuff shot.
Well, he didn't know where he was on the court when he received the pass from Bird, and all of a sudden he looked up and there he was underneath the basket. So the last 3 times Jordan has handled the ball, it's either been a turnover or a missed shot.
Isaiah Thomas is in now.
Now here's that pass going to Michael Jordan, and he looks behind him. Well, he did know where he was. The ball slipped out of his hands.
Wilkins will be coming back through. Magic pushes a 3, and Bird has the rebound. Isaiah Thomas, 2-time MVP. To Bird, to Malone. And Malone will go to the line and shoot, so the strength of the East team becoming apparent here. Karl Malone comes back in the game for the West. Anytime the West has made any kind of a run, including that first half lead, Malone has been the spearhead. Donaldson leads.
And the West has plenty of time to get back in this ballgame. Even if Moses Malone hits these 2 foul shots, they're down 13 points. And in a game like this, where it's up and down and a lot of pressure, a couple of missed shots, and bam, there you are, right back in the ballgame.
There's Lever, and of course these games can change complexion in a hurry, but Pat Riley now wants the right combination now.
Both coaches want that right combination.
Worthy. So Worthy and Magic, two Lakers, with Karl Malone, who has played well, and Olajuwon and Lever. This is the best five, I think, that the West team has had.
Well, those are the decisions the coach makes during the course of the game.
Ewing almost made a circus play, and then Moses Malone, the ultimate offensive rebounder, gets fouled.
That's Moses' trademark. Get to the offensive glass, and he always believes that he could wear down the opposition in that fourth period if he does it all throughout the game.
Karl Malone has 4 personal fouls. We'll watch that. Michael Jordan has 4 for the East. 12-point lead for the Eastern Stars. 7:20 as you see remaining. Timeout scoring, plenty of them. Worthy off the screen.
I think Ewing wanted that rebound.
Isaiah Thomas inside, no white jerseys there. Magic to Karl Malone. Resounding play by the mailman.
There's an example. If you're a lead guard at any level, the first thing you do when you get the pass is you have to look up and see if there's anybody at the other end open.
Timeout called by Mike Fratello. Karl Malone has 16. Olajuwon leads with 17. What a thundering play this was.
Every Wednesday night, live games are on ESPN Classic. Warning, do not adjust your television. We're turning back the clock. Throwback graphics, announcers, maybe even retro fans.
Far out, man.
Wednesday, twin brothers Ronell and Donnell Taylor lead UAB against the Billikens of St. Louis. It's a Conference USA clash being live to your couch, old school style. Turn back the clock, live, UAB versus St. Louis, 8 p.m. Wednesday on ESPN Classic.
Sunday nights on ESPN Classic. Experience your favorite sports movies in a whole new way. It's Real Classics Extra. While you're watching these classic sports flicks, our bottom line is giving you info, facts, and just about anything you ever wanted to know about the movie and its stars. Once you catch Extra, you'll never look at sports movies the same way again. All right! Real Classics Extra, Sunday nights, only on ESPN Classic.
Fact. Scientists now know there are 3 major causes of male hair loss. Fact. The newly patented Follicare hair growth and restoration system is the first product that fights all 3 of these hair killers at the same time. Fact. In testing by an independent lab, 100% of men using Follicare grew new hair in just 8 weeks. That's right, 100% of men grew new hair, and you will too. We guarantee it.
I was going bald. Then I started to use Follicare, and there's a lot more hair there in a very short period of time. It's a great product.
Folicare's patented formula works for thinning hair or on an annoying bald spot. Here's why we lose our hair as we age. First, blood flow decreases, and not enough oxygen and key nutrients reach our follicles. Second, the chemical DHT builds up in hair follicles and causes them to shrink. And third, we don't get enough of the nutrients needed to grow healthy hair. Folicare fights all of these hair killers with over 50 key ingredients that together help you grow and keep your own hair. Single approach products can't give you the incredible results that Folicare can. Folicare was developed by Dr. Chris Catalfo, who at 28 years old was rapidly going bald. Desperate, Dr. Catalfo attacked all the reasons for his hair loss at once, and now has a full head of hair. His research gave us Folicare. It takes less than 5 minutes a day to use and costs less than a cup of coffee. And unlike some other products, there are no unwanted sexual side effects.
Unless you actually put this on your head, there's no way in the world that you're going to understand how good it is.
Have you ever heard a guy say, gee, I wish I were bald? No! Don't wait to get to this point to do something about hair loss. You too will grow hair with the patented Folicare system. We guarantee it or your money back.
You can fight hair loss, and Folicare guarantees it. Grow new hair in just 8 weeks or your money back. Unlike other products, Folicare costs as little as $1 a day. That's right, grow hair for only $1 a day. Call 1-800-495-1359 now. Folicare is easy, it's patented, and it works. Don't wait. Call 1-800-495-1359 or visit Folicare.com and start growing hair today.
Dominique Wilkins hits the shot. lob has worked 2 times for the West.
We'll see that next week with Magic throwing that to Kareem.
And now the East turns the ball over. Magic, by the way, with 12 assists in the game. Karl Malone is fouled.
Larry Bird is fourth.
Now here's Magic making that lob pass right there to Olajuwon. Now the reason that was so successful, though, is that Pat Riley was able to review that in the timeout and set that play up.
Karl Malone with an outstanding game for the West All-Stars. Can cut the lead now to 8 with 6:09 remaining. And that's what he does, 114 to 106. Thomas and Jordan, the starting tandem, back out there now. Lever is all over Michael Jordan, picked up by Karl Malone on the switch, and Jordan gets the basket.
He was going to get to that basket one way or another.
Magic, foul driving in inside the paint.
He just picks his way through this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's the 5th red shirt. Somehow he sneaks through there and is able to knock it in. Good roll with the rim.
Like a minefield in this.
That's exactly what it looked like.
Magic Johnson checks the clock. He has 5:46 to go. Speaking of next week, we'll see Ainge and McHale. And Larry Bird is on the floor against the Lakers. Lakers-Celtics, 3:30 Sunday Eastern Time. Starting it out, the Great Daytona 500 at noon on CBS Sports. Push as Jordan got the pass from Bird and was pushed.
Well, we see what Larry Bird said, that he's going to look for Michael Jordan because he feels it's appropriate. This is Michael's hometown, that he should be MVP. The last time down, he was the one that set the screen to allow Jordan to go to the basket. This time, that ball's in Bird's hand. He looks for Jordan going back door for the layup.
It's like Larry Bird and Magic are both taking over the mantle of Julius Erving as ambassadors of this game.
Well, I can't think of anybody that has done a better job representing basketball than Julius Erving, so it's a great one for them to follow in the footsteps of.
10-point lead for the East. Lever. Jordan. Showtime. It was Ewing that got the ball to him. Malone. Blocked by Ewing. Dominique with Jordan. And Magic comes back. And they go back the other way. Crowd loving every minute of it. Traveling call against Magic, but the crowd enjoys it, and so do the players.
You can't believe it. He said, I walked? No way.
10-point lead for the East, 120 to 110. Jordan follows up Isaiah. Timeout, West.
Eyes. How he just finds Olajuwon. Looks like a lead blocker there in football. And now watch Patrick Ewing going up off the glass, getting the rebound, and making that outlet pass to Jordan. That's the Patrick Ewing everyone expected to see in New York when he came out of Georgetown, and they're getting it now.
And that's the kind of action that Patrick Ewing hopes to give the Knicks, teaming with Mark Jackson. He said, I never thought that we would have such great communication that fast, but it's worked for those two with the Knicks. Michael Jordan has scored 8 points in the last minute and a half. He has 32 in the game and now nearly made another steal. English scores with nearly 4 minutes remaining. Pat Riley will try to pull something out here with his team down by 10. Wilkins posting up against English. Knocked away East possession.
7 seconds left on the 24-second clock. So they'll have to get it in and get a quick shot.
Wilkins off the screen, wide open. 29 for Wilkins. Jordan has 32. They went head-to-head for the slam dunk title, and it looks like they're doing the same for the MVP award today. Hakeem a little too hard off the glass. Steal by Lieber. And unable to handle it is Olajuwon, and the chances of a West comeback are slipping away. Ewing from Thomas. The lead is 14. Karl Malone now with 20 in the game, trailing Olajuwon, the West leader with 21.
Now there's Bird looking for, he was trying to direct Jordan to receive a pass.
Great pass from Isaiah Thomas, couldn't do it off the glass. Malone on the wing, tipped away by the East. 2:48 on the clock, and Mike Fratello will try to go 1-0 as an All-Star coach.
There's a great pass to Ewing.
Magic for 3. You don't see that in a regular game.
You think Chuck Daly wouldn't be up off the bench in Detroit if he saw one of those?
He messes hair up. Olajuwon fighting. Lieber with 2:18 remaining.
Now what the East has to do is have good patience offensively, use a little bit of the clock, and they'll just do the exact opposite as Mike just said.
West needs a lot of points in a hurry. Karl Malone, now the leading scorer for the West with 22. Timeout called by Mike Fratello. The East leads the series 24-13 and in front with 2 minutes to go.
Like playing with Magic Johnson. What was it like playing with Isaiah Thomas? And it's going to be a real thrill for these guys to express it to their teammates as well. Now there's that pass by Jordan. Everybody's got that look-away pass today.
And the other end. Magic with 14 assists today. But Michael Jordan is the man of the hour. And they want Kareem to go back in and get the All-Star record. He needs 2 points. Karl Malone goes out.
It's got to make Kareem feel good. You know, the fans know he needs 2 points. You can see that type of support.
And a timeout called by the West with 52 seconds to go.